Hello, everybody, and welcome to to Church at Home with Rachel for Tuesday, the 2nd of April. I hope you survived your April Fool's Day. Nothing too drastic happened with those fools who are out there making jokes and things like that. I hope for those of you who celebrated Easter that it was a good weekend, and that you were able to be with family and friends and all of those things. Um, it was a busy weekend for those of us who are clergy in the church, and it's a good thing. And I'm recording this on Monday, so it sounds like I'm talking about yesterday. It's because I am, because I know this is for Tuesday, but trying to get organized. Easier said than done. Now, I haven't done this in a long time and talked about politics and things like that because I've been trying hard not to. However, there's something that's been happening in the news that I feel like I really do need to address, and that is the whole MAPA to MAGA thing. So, make America pray again to make America great again. Yeah, I think, imagine you might have heard something of this, that the former president is now hawking Bibles with the words to Lee Greenwood's God Bless America in them, and I think like some part of the Constitution or some other great American words printed in them for $59.95 US. There you go. I'm sure it's a steal. I'm also convinced that at some point he's going to be all excited because, the Bible's on the bestseller list and he's the one who put it there. And over the generations, the Bible has pretty consistently been a pretty good bestseller. So it won't be because of himself that it goes that way. It'll be because of a different himself, I think. The reality is that, yeah, I agree. Making America pray again sounds like a good idea. Making Canada pray again sounds like a great idea. I'm a priest, right? I'm a bishop, so I want people to pray. My problem with this is the whole making anyone, let alone a whole country, do anything like this. It's not right. I I want people to pray. I want people in my line of work and what I believe and who I am as a person. I want people to choose to have a relationship with God. I want them to turn to God in prayer the way I want everyone to have that best pal you have, that when things are awesome, you can call them up and say, hey, guess what happened? Let's go celebrate. Or when things are horrible, you can call them up and say, can you please help me? I need you. I need you to be my friend. I need you to be here with me to get me through this, to give me advice, to listen, let me have a shoulder to cry on. I want that for people. I want people to have that kind of relationship with God. And I believe that that begins in prayer. So yeah, I would love it if people would choose to pray again, or to pray if they never have before. But the idea of making anyone pray, let alone making a whole body of people who happen to be a nation of people, it's wrong. We don't have the right to force anyone to pray. It is just wrong. Jesus did not force anyone to pray. He invited people to prayer. He encouraged people to pray. But he did not ever hold anything over them and say, you must pray. Prayer is something that has to come from within us, something that we have to choose to do. It's like loving someone else. You can force someone to get along with somebody else. You can force someone to live in the same building with them, but you can't force anyone to love someone else. That's a choice they have to make. And the idea that our politics, and I'm talking about this because I'm concerned that Canada might start to embrace or continue to embrace something as wildly wrong as this idea that we would be better off as a country, or any country would be better off if everybody believed in the same thing. What about those people who don't? The God that I believe in calls me to love all children of God, regardless of what they look like, where they were born, how they pray. I'm called to love them. I'm even called to love my enemies. The idea of forcing anyone to pray, the idea that it's a great idea to mix politics and religion, I just don't get it. I just don't agree with it. I'm very concerned that we are losing the focus, especially in this Easter season. We are called to share the good news of Jesus Christ with people. We are called to share with them the love that Jesus has for us, that he would go to the cross for us, that he would die for us. And there are all kinds of people. I've been listening to the radio the last couple of days. It's been driving around and listening to people on the news talking about this, this Easter message and what it means. And some of them, it's like, whoa, like, okay, I'm not okay with that. And others of them, like, yeah, I understand what they're trying to say, and they're trying to reach an audience that is not completely Christian. So they're choosing their words carefully. But I think we need to do that. I think we do need to choose our words carefully because Jesus, however we understand why he died for us, the for us part is huge. For us. He sacrificed himself for us. He died for us. Whatever, however we want to understand that, it was in pursuit of having a relationship with us, helping us understand that we are loved. However we understand atonement or substitutionary sacrifice and things like that. I don't want to get into that, but this idea that someone would want to be in relationship with us so much that they would die, that they would sacrifice themselves for us, regardless of the reasoning behind that, why that was necessary. I think that's what we should be focusing on. We should be focusing on how we build relationships, not bash people and burn relationships because they don't agree with us about our religion or politics. We really, really need to focus on how we build up the kingdom of God, not how we build barriers around it. And I'm beginning to think that that's exactly what is happening, even within our churches, not within our churches, but within denominations, looking at those people. Like lately, there have been the folks who disagree with me being a priest have been back and having some fun in the comments. And to be quite honest, for those of you who've known me for a while, I don't really care that much. Sometimes I'll respond back because it gets annoying, or I just want to egg them on, which is not very kind of me. But the fact that someone thinks that I cannot be a priest because I am a woman, that's their opinion. And if indeed in their own denomination, in their own faith, whatever that might be, they absolutely believe that, then I don't want them to change that. I don't want them to somehow think, oh, well, I'm wrong and she's right. If that's going to hurt their relationship, how they understand their relationship with God, then that's okay. They don't have to believe that I am a priest. I don't want to bash them down and tell them how wrong they are. I wouldn't mind having a conversation with them about why is it, other than that tradition in the church has said I can't be. Let's have it like a rational conversation around these things and think about what is it that we believe about God? What is it we believe about Jesus Christ? And why is it that women couldn't be priests? I think there's a lot of good that could come of conversations like that. But holding up a Bible or some kind of prayer book or even some kind of denomination saying, you're wrong, you can't be this or you can't be that because you're not like me, we're missing the point. God did not make us all exactly the same. God made us different. And that's the beauty of life. Two by two. Remember Noah's Ark? God didn't tell Noah to take 180 penguins all alike and then there you go, save the world. It was two by two. There was diversity, there was beauty, there was all kinds of possibility because it wasn't all the same. And I think that's what we're called to do as a nation, as a people, as a church. We're called not to look at all of the ways that we must be identical to one another, but we're called to look at all the ways that we can learn from and support one another because we're different. And I really do think that this whole, as I said, MAPA for MAGA, to MAGA, make America pray again, to make America great again. Well, why? I forget the fact, was it ever great before, but why couldn't we simply invite people who pray to pray? And for those who don't, let's have a conversation. You don't have to pray. We can have conversations. We can learn from each other. We can learn to get along. We can learn to be together side by side. I don't think that we need to make anyone pray again or make anyone read the Bible, especially the King James Bible. Folks, if you're going to read a Bible, read something a bit more easier to understand in language that sounds like every day. We can have a conversation about different translations and versions at another time, but the King James, really? Okay, I know for some it's beautiful poetry, but really? So my invitation for you is make this a great day for you. And as you make it a great day for you, make it a great day for someone else. Be kind to someone, smile, engage in conversation with them. If you are someone who prays, pray for them. You don't have to make a deal of it. You could just before you go to work, or if you're in the car and you see somebody who's looks like they're struggling to get their child out of the car to go to school, say a prayer that they'll have peace in their lives, that they will have a good relationship. It's okay. We can pray without making it into a political statement. We can pray and offer to God our simple request that life would be good for everybody. What do you think? It's not about making America great again. It certainly isn't about making Americans pray again. I think it's really about how do we find a way to get along? How do we find a way to treat one another well? Respect the dignity of every human being. For a lot of us, that great place to start is prayer. Maybe not for everybody. For me, absolutely. So I'll be praying for you today. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, know that I'm praying for this YouTube community. God bless you all. Have a great day. God bless. I will see you again tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachel.